Have you ever heard about statistic? Where you frequently heard that term? Was it when you were at school or at the office? Of course, the term statistics was not a strange word for you. The term often used in the news, cases, or even at daily problems. Usually, statistics related with some data. This is true. So, what is statistics? Statistics is the science of planning studies and experiments, obtaining data, and then organizing, summarizing, presenting, analyzing, interpreting, and drawing conclusions based on the data. Statistics itself divided into two parts: descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics is a method that associated with data collection or data presentation until the data give unuseful information. Meanwhile, inferential statistics is a method that can be used to analyze small groups of a master data or a sample that taken from a population. The displaced case is a case that has been discussed this time: COVID-19 pandemic. Can you draw a conclusion from that case? Are you still having difficulty to draw a conclusion? Then, how to simplify the way to get information from the case? The way that can be done is by presenting the case in concise and neat way, and you should be able to give the main information from the available data set. Then, how to present it? Let's see the next discussion.
First, why do we need to learn statistical graphics? Graphs are important things that we must learn. Statistics will not be separate from graph because graphs are used to present data, so that the presentation of data is easier and the data can be read clearly. As explained before, because with graph can make it easier for us to present data, graph can also make data more efficient, so we don't need to observe them one by one. Another reason why we must learn graph is so that we understand what is presented in the graph and also can facilitate us in analyzing data. When do we construct the graph? We make a graph when the data have a lot of datum, or when the information that we have a lot of data or categorical. And the last, make the data more obvious from the information that we get. How do we construct the graph? Define what information is presented in the data, like what kind of data is categorical or continuous. Select a graph that matches the data. If the data is categorical, the graph is pie chart or bar chart. And if the data is continuous, the graph is line graph. Bar chart. First, we have to draw two vertical and horizontal lines, or like the X and Y axis. X-axis as data description and Y-axis as data frequency. Class, draw the bars that correspond to the data with appropriate frequency. Pie chart. Calculate all data values or data frequency. Then, calculate every angle of data using the formula value of the data divide total value of the data multiplied by 360 degrees. Last, draw one full circle, then draw each corner of the data. Line graph. First, draw two horizontal and vertical like X and Y axis. X axis as data description and Y axis as data frequency. 3. Make a dot that match the name of each data with frequency. Last, make a line that follows the dot or point. How do we construct the graph? Define what information is presented in the data, like what kind of data is categorical or continuous. Select a graph that matches the data. If the data is categorical, the graph is pie chart or bar chart. And if the data is continuous, the graph is line graph. Bar chart. First, we have to draw two vertical and horizontal lines, or like the X and Y axis. 2. X-axis as data description and Y-axis as data frequency. Last, draw the bars that correspond to the data with the appropriate frequency. Pie chart. Calculate all data values or data frequency. Then calculate every angle of data using the formula value of the data define total value of the data multiplied by 360 degrees. Last, draw one full circle, then draw each corner of the data.
What kind of graph that we can construct? The types of graphs or diagrams that we can draw from a single data is a line chart, pie charts, bar and leaf charts, and pictogram. How to choose the suitable graphs for a data? To choose a chart, adjust to the measurement technique. For example, the data present is nominal and ordinal data, then the diagram or graphs used is a bar and circle chart. But if the data held is interval data and ratio, then you can use a line chart. For example, the data generated are gender data and class ranking, so it can use bar and circle charts. But for example, the data product by the average speed of people driving and height can use line charts. How do we interpret the graphs? To interpret a graph or diagram is done by observing the graphs present from a data. For example, the diagram present as follows. Based on the graphs above, how to interpret it by first reading the title of the graph to find out the graphic contents of the graphs. Then, reading the information available on the axis of the diagrams, which is the horizontal axis indicating the days and the vertical axis which follow the temperature in New York City. And from the graphs, it can be concluded that the temperature from the first day to 6 days rises to 67 degrees Fahrenheit. For the interpretation of graphs or other diagrams, adjust to the graphs with attention to the same things as the graphs above. For example, bar charts, pie charts, and other charts.
Well, after we study the statistical graph, we will understand better how to process data, and more importantly, we can represent statistical graph so that our knowledge increases in processing information to solve our problems or people around us.